Good morning. So one day I paddled out at a reef break. It was a solid overhead day, heavy wave, heavy day, kind of wave that like real exciting drop, pull into a freight train right, and then it ends in either a flying kick out or a thundering closeout where you just get hammered. And I had either never surfed this spot before, maybe only surfed it once or twice when it was really small. And at this time, I was still learning to surf and wasn't super confident in my ability to navigate a wave like that or even to catch a wave like that. But I had made a commitment that I was going to surf, or when I went to surf, no matter what the conditions were, I was paddling out. And so I sat on the beach and watched for a few minutes and waited for a bit of a lull and then went for it, paddled out through that closeout section, got out pretty clean and was fine, and but then it's starting to get dark. And so I'm starting to think, man, I gotta either catch a wave or get in or do something here. And so I'm just sitting there waiting near the other guys and wave comes and it's just freaking me out, but at the same time it's like super exciting. I'm like, oh man, to get into one of those. And so a guy pulls in, goes flying down the line, does a flying kick out and everyone's hooting and this happens a couple more times, a couple more waves. And then I noticed that the guys that caught the waves and kicked out, they were sitting off to my left, and then the next guy would sit off to his left, and the next guy off to his left, and I noticed and I'm moving closer to the peak, and all of a sudden I'm like, oh wait a minute, I'm in a lineup here. We're actually rotating through and taking turns. So first I'm like excited and kind of cool, but then I'm like, my turn's coming up. I'm going to have to go here and I don't know what I'm doing. And so I just kind of chickened out and kind of let myself fall back out of the line so that I didn't have to go and embarrass myself, or eat crap on the takeoff or just go paddle, like that scene in Blue Crush where she paddles and doesn't go for it because it's too scary, or I didn't have the courage to try something like that, and I didn't know what I was doing. And so and eventually I think I caught maybe an inside wave or just didn't catch any and just rode the whitewash in and got out of there as it was getting dark, and that was that. But for me, that was like the huge, amazing experience of the lineup. And that was like 20 years ago. And since then, at that spot, that town, that the whole, state of California, I've surfed all over the world, and I've never had that lineup experience or never seen it or seen anybody else doing it. And so that was like this really rare and amazing experience. And the only thing I've had close to that since then is I went on a boat trip, or we went on a volunteer trip to Fiji we went to paint this school in Fiji, and we did that for about a week, and that was an amazing experience. And we got to see village life, remote village life, and sail on an old or a recreated voyaging canoe, a big catamaran designed the way the ancient Polynesians did. And so that was an awesome experience and amazing. And then on the tail end of that trip, stayed at a surf resort where the only people staying there were surfers, and we had our own little bungalow, but then we stayed together and we had common meals together, and we went out on the boats together there was a handful of spots that this particular camp or resort went to. And so that was, wake up, get on the boat, go out, and just the only people at that particular spot were the people that were staying at the resort. And so we all knew each other, and there was only like 3 to maybe half a dozen of us at this particular spot. And so this was, very similar to the lineup experience of only the people out there, we know each other. And so we're taking turns, we're rotating, we're hooting each other in, we're giving each other waves. And again, like amazing, like so radically different to the typical popular surf spot, or like the real crowded Point Break here in California, where it's jockeying and everyone's trying to paddle battle, and often people don't say much when they sit down, and or when they're sitting waiting for a wave. There's not much in the way of conversation or even eye contact. Often it's the opposite of, like, because we're in this heated battle for waves, don't want to give any edge or whatever. And so what I would love to see, and what this like vision I've had of what a much richer surf experience we could recreate or bring back to the lineup, is have something like a worldwide lineup day, where just a starting point, one day, it could even be a half a day, in the morning, whatever, or in the night, but one day we all agree or try out this experiment of, hey, let's for this one day welcome everyone, put all the battle and the competition and trying to get as many waves as possible, just set that aside just for one day, and we welcome everyone into the lineup, regardless of where they're from, ability, what board they're on, what gear they're on, whether they're on a sponge or a hand plane or a kayak or a sup or a ripping shortboard or a outrigger canoe. We welcome everyone into the lineup, and we get in a line and we take turns and we rotate through just for one day, just to try it, just to see what it's like. And to add to this experience, we actually look to the person on our right and look to the person on our left, and we talk to them. We ask, how are they? What's going on in their life? What are they into? What are they passionate about? What are they excited about? How's their family life? How's their home life? What experiences are they going through? What has led them to this point that they're out here right now? And really add a depth, a more than just get a wave, and add a complete, full, rich surf experience, where we broaden our focus. Instead of a very narrow focus on the wave, we have this wider, all-encompassing kind of take it all in. Let's make this a much fuller and satisfying experience, and just to try it, one day, let's just see what happens. And the other 364 days, we can go back to being jerks and dicks and telling people to get the heck out of here. If that's what we want, we can go back to that. But just for one day, let's try this lineup thing, just to see what it's like, just to taste it and feel it, and see, maybe there's more here than just the wave. What I hope, or what can happen from this, is that on the days when the surf sucks, or it's flat, or it's blown to shreds, or there are 500 people out and it's like impossible to get a wave, what happens is, instead of being bummed out, sad, depressed, like angry, wanting to beat somebody up, or wanting to just mad at the world because, I'm not getting waves, or there's no waves to get, or, instead of giving all our power away and being all bummed out like that, we can go to the beach anyway and know that, oh, hey, there's this lineup thing where I'm going to meet cool people, and we're going to have great conversations. We're going to share and have this richer experience, so that, yeah, getting waves is awesome, and getting, a head high barrel and would be rad and super awesome. At the same time, if that doesn't happen, I'll still have this other experience, this fuller experience, so that my life will be a little more rich or complete, or just, do you understand what I'm trying to say here? I hope this is making sense, or I'm making sense here. But this idea of having more than just a wave, and that we get this real full, rich experience. And also the part about, instead of, like, when we're paddle battling, we're often, I know I catch myself wanting sometimes the person to fall off the wave, or I'm hoping that, three guys will battle for it and they'll all knock each other off the wave so I can get it further down the line. And with the lineup and the rotation, that goes away, and it gets replaced with everyone celebrating someone going for a wave. And even, especially if they're not that great of a surfer, there's even more of this like, come on, you can make it. Like, like a very, instead of being angry that someone, wasted a wave or blew a wave, we're encouraging and celebrating and acknowledging each other. And then when we do get a great ride, there's this huge like celebration because everyone is watching you, and we see this, and it's like, oh yeah, that's rad. And we're all, the added experience is that we get to feel the joy of someone else riding a wave as if we're riding it. And when we are riding a wave, just feeling that energy of everyone encouraging us and being on our team, on our side, for me, it adds a much richer experience. And so that's what I'm hoping we can do. And so just as a starting point, I would love to see this happen. And I hope someone else out there is on the same page, and we can try this lineup thing. And, and even if it only happens once, just to do it and incorporate, like, everyone take a little video of it, bring out their GoPros, whoever's on the beach afterward, video a little bit. And then we all share, worldwide lineup day, and just really have that worldwide vibe going of inclusivity and welcoming and celebrating and just this big party out in the lineup, and where we just for a day kind of de-emphasize the getting the waves and put more emphasis on people and celebrating each other and enjoying each other's company, and just see where that goes, see how that feels, and give it a try. So thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. And I hope to see you out there.